Hey everyone, taking a health insurance is extremely important. At the same time, it is very difficult to read between the lines of terms and conditions of health insurance policy. The policy documents are so long that you get lost into the details and there are chances that you miss out on the key parameters that you should have in your health policy. So there were a few requests to create a kind of checklist that you can keep handy before you finalize a health insurance policy. Hence, I've created a checklist of 10 key parameters that you should keep in mind before taking a health plan. This will help you shortlist the right health insurance with all the required information. Alright, let's get started. Checklist number 1. Understand what is your requirement and why do you really need a health cover. Well, it might sound a bit weird because the simple answer why you need a health cover is because medical expenses are very high and in case of medical emergency, you don't want to pay the entire medical bill out of your own pocket, isn't it? But before you even look at the other features, you should be very clear about why you need a health cover. And for that, you need to analyze your key requirement. Because the essential requirement for health cover can vary from person to person. For example, if you are young and disease free, your requirement could be to simply take a health cover that provides the basic health coverage at a reasonable premium. While if you have a pre-existing disease, then you want to make sure that your health plan covers that particular disease. Likewise, if you are young and in your 30s, then a health plan of let's say 5 to 10 lakh rupee could be enough. Whereas for your parents, you might need a health plan of at least 10 lakh rupee. So the decision of health cover would also depend upon your exact requirement. Hence, first of all, be very clear about why do you need a health cover, and for that you need to analyze your key requirement. Once you decide your requirement and the health cover amount, you need to look at the other important parameters. What are those parameters? Let's have a look. Checklist number 2. Make sure there is no copayment clause. A lot of people have the tendency to opt for cheaper health plans. But the problem is, in health insurance, cheaper is not always the best option because some insurance plans can come at a very low cost, but they might have a co-payment clause where you need to split the bill. That is, you need to pay, let's say 10% or 20% of the bill from your own pocket. For example, let's say you opted for a health insurance with 20% co-payment clause. Now let's say you end up with a medical expense of rupees 2 lakh. In that case, you'll have to pay 20% of 2 lakh, that is rupees 40,000 out of your own pocket. That's a lot of money. And what if you end up with rupees 5 lakh medical expense? Then you'll have to pay rupees 1 lakh out of your own pocket. So in order to save some money on annual premium, you could end up with paying huge amount of money out of your own pocket. Don't make this fatal mistake. Make sure that you opt for a health plan without any co-payment clause unless you don't have any option. Your health insurance should cover 100% of your medical expenses. Checklist number 3. Check for restriction on hospital room rent. There are insurance policies with cap on hospital room rent. For example, a cap could be of 1% of total sum assured. And if you take a health insurance of let's say 5 lakh rupee, then 1% of 5 lakh would be rupees 5,000. By the way, considering the rising cost of medical treatment, 5,000 rupee per night for a room in a good private hospital is not a big deal. But you might think that rupees 5,000 per night is enough and you opt for the health plan. Here there is a big catch, so listen carefully. Let's say you got admitted in a hospital and you find that rupees 7,000 per night room is better than your limit of 5,000 per night. And let's say you have to stay for 2 days. So you do the calculation and think that you have to pay an additional amount of just rupees 5,000 for the room as you will get rupees 10,000 from the insurer. So you opt for a room that costs rupees 7,500 per night. Mind you, it's over the maximum limit of 5,000 rupee per night from your insurer. Now let's say you had some surgery and the medical bill is rupees 1.5 lakh. So you might think that you just need to pay an additional of rupees 5,000 for the room out of your own pocket and rest everything will be taken care by the insurance policy, isn't it? Well, guess what? You will have to pay rupees 50,000 out of your own pocket. Here is the math. Since you opted for room worth rupees 7,500 per night, whereas your limit was 5,000 per night, you ended up paying 1/3 of the cost of room out of your own pocket. But this 1/3 cost is not just applicable to the room rent. It would be applicable to all the services including your surgery cost. Hence, you'll have to pay 1/3 of the total medical bill. Since your medical bill was rupees 1.5 lakh, 1/3 of that would be rupees 50,000. That would be a disaster. So make sure that your health insurance policy doesn't have a room rent cap. Now, as I mentioned before, it is very difficult to understand the terms and conditions of each health plan because they have a detailed document and it is difficult for laymen to understand the key points. So let's say if you want to know the pros and cons of each health insurance, then you can get all these details on Ditto platform in a very simple English language. In fact, if you already have a health insurance, then also you can look at all the details in simple layman language. For example, let's say you want to know the details of Star Health Insurance. Then you can simply visit the website, click on Health Insurance tab and click on Understand Your Policy. Then you can select the insurer as Star Health and the policy and click on Check Now. It will show you all the details in terms of what is good and what is bad. You can even set up a 30-minute call with Ditto team for free of cost consultation for selecting the right health insurance as per your need. And the best part is they don't spam you with multiple SMS, calls and emails. Checklist number 4 is check for disease-wise sublimit and waiting period for pre-existing disease. This is again very important parameter before shortlisting a health insurance. Some health insurance policies have a disease-wise sublimit where they have a cap on total coverage amount for a specific disease. For example, let's say you opted for a health insurance coverage of rupees 10 lakh. Now there could be a case where the health plan has a cap on pre-existing disease. For example, a cap of rupees 2.5 lakh on cardiovascular issue or cap of rupees 2 lakh on knee replacement and likewise. So make sure that your health plan doesn't have any disease-wise sublimit. Moreover, many health insurance policies have a waiting period for pre-existing diseases. So let's say you opted for a health plan where you mentioned that you have diabetes problem. Now there could be a case where you get admitted to hospital due to diabetes, but your claim gets rejected because diabetes has a specific waiting period which you have not completed yet. In fact, waiting period for pre-existing disease is a very common clause in health insurance policy. So make sure that you opt for health plan with very low waiting period, especially for pre-existing disease because there are high probability of having medical expenses due to pre-existing disease and you don't want to pay the money out of your own pocket. Checklist number 5 is check for pre and post hospitalization charges. While most of us ensure that the health plan covers all the expenses during hospitalization, many of us ignore the pre and post hospitalization charges and that could also cost you a lot. For example, you might feel pain in your chest and consult your doctor. Now, doctor might suggest some diagnosis test like MRI, CT scan, etc. And then they admit you to the hospital. So there could be a case where the health insurer only covers the expenses during your stay in the hospital and doesn't cover the MRI or other diagnosis test. So make sure that your health insurance plan covers both pre and post hospitalization charges. It may be between 30 to 60 days before and after your treatment. Also ensure that your health insurance also covers your ambulance cost. Checklist number 6 is check for no claim bonus. So let's say you opted for a health insurance plan and did not claim for health expense for next 3 years. Would you benefit for not claiming the health expense? Well, there are health policies that offers you a bonus in case of no claim. For example, one of the no claim bonuses, they increase your health cover for a specific person. So let's say you opted for a health plan of rupees 5 lakh and did not claim any expense. Then next year, your insurer could increase your health cover to rupees 7 lakh. And likewise, next year your coverage could increase further. Of course, they would stop at one point in time. But this is a pretty good way to get a high coverage as the cost of healthcare is increasing exponentially. Checklist number 7 is check for individual versus family floater. If you have a family with wife and kids, then it is better to take a single family floater plan that would cover your entire family. But when you take the family floater plan, do check for restoration benefit. For example, let's say you have taken a family floater plan with a coverage of rupees 5 lakh and you ended up with a medical expense of rupees 4.5 lakh. Now what if your wife also ended up with a medical expense of let's say rupees 2 lakh? Since you have already consumed your 4.5 lakh out of total coverage of 5 lakh, you are left with only rupees 50,000. How will it cover the wife's medical expense of rupees 2 lakh? So if you have a restoration benefit, then your coverage of rupees 5 lakh will be restored after you claim your 4.5 lakh rupee. It means you can again claim 2 lakh rupee for wife's medical expense. Although some health plans have a restriction on restoration benefit for same disease. For example, if you have a heart problem and you claim the medical expense, then next time they won't cover the charges if you have the same problem again. So restoration benefit is a good to have feature, especially when you are taking a family floater plan for your family. And in case you have elderly parents, keep a separate health insurance for them. It is because your health insurance premium is decided based on the age of eldest member in the family. And if you include your elderly parents, then your health insurance premium will shoot up a lot. Also, there are a lot of complications in elderly health insurance. For example, you have to opt for copayment clause after the age of 65. Another important feature that you can consider is super top-up plan. This is especially helpful in case of elderly parents. So super top-up means that let's say you have taken a health plan of rupees 10 lakh, but some of the treatments can become really costly. For example, disease like cancer, heart issue, etc. can cost a lot of money. So you can take a super top-up of rupees 10 to 15 lakh on top of your health plan of rupees 10 lakh. Now if you opt for a health plan with a coverage of 20-25 lakh, then it would cost you a bomb. But if you opt for a super top-up of rupees 10 to 15 lakh on top of your health plan of rupees 10 lakh, then it would be very economical. So this super top-up plan is helpful for those who have serious health issues in the family. By the way, I've already created a video on how to select the right health plan for your elderly parents. Checklist number 8 is check for other benefits like free health checkup and alternate treatment. Another nice to have feature is free health checkup. Ideally, everyone should get a general health checkup once in a year. I know one of my friends who had a general health checkup for his mother and detected cancer during the early stage itself. Thankfully, they were able to cure the disease before it could get worse. Some health plans provide the benefit of free health checkup and a nice to have feature. Then apart from the regular medical treatment, there are alternative medical treatments like Ayurveda, yoga, naturopathy, homeopathy, etc. also known as Ayush treatment. And some diseases can be cured by these alternate treatment. Although not every health insurance would provide you the benefit of Ayush treatment. So it is a good feature that you can consider in your health plan. Checklist number 9 is ensure your health insurer provide cashless facility and cover major hospital in your city. So there was a time when you have to pay the money upfront out of your pocket at the time of your treatment and then later claim the money from the health insurer. And hospital treatment requires a good amount of money which is not easy to arrange immediately. However, now there is a cashless facility where you don't need to pay anything out of your own pocket. Everything will be taken care by the health insurer provided you visit the hospital that accept the cashless facility of that particular health insurer. So make sure that your health insurer covers the top hospital in your city and provides a cashless facility. Final checklist number 10 is declare medical history to avoid claim rejection. There are a lot of cases where medical claims get rejected, and one of the common reasons is that people generally tend to hide their medical history, mainly to avoid high premium. As a result, the entire medical claim gets rejected. So at the time of taking the health insurance, you'll have to fill a form where you have to declare your medical history. Make sure that you fill it properly and disclose all the medical details if any. So in this video, we discussed the health insurance checklist with 10 important parameters to look for while taking a health insurance. If I summarize, first of all, be very clear with your health requirement. Then second, make sure there is no copayment clause. Then third, make sure there are no restrictions on hospital room rent. Then fourth, check for disease-wise sublimit and waiting period for pre-existing disease. Then fifth, check for pre and post hospitalization charges. Then sixth, check for no claim bonus. Seventh, check for individual versus family float up. Then eighth, check for other benefits like free health checkup and alternate treatment. Then ninth, ensure your health insurer provide cashless facility and cover major hospital in your city. And 10th, declare medical history to avoid claim rejection. By the way, many of you would have a health insurance from your employer. In that case, remember that the moment you quit your job, you will lose your health insurance policy. And if anything happens, before you get the health coverage from another employer, you'll have to bear the cost from your own pocket. Plus, your new health policy will start from scratch with the waiting period for certain diseases, etc. So it is always better to opt for a separate health plan. In case you want to schedule a call with Ditto team, I have provided the link in the description box. Now tell me in the comment, have you taken a health insurance? If yes, which is your preferred health insurer partner? I hope you'll find the video useful. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care.